Today we're traveling to one of the strangest planets ever discovered. A world so dark it almost completely swallows light. Think of the absolute darkest place you've ever been. Not just a room with the curtains drawn where the streetlights bleed through the edges. I'm talking about the suffocating heavy dark, the kind you find deep underground in the cave system, the kind of black where you wave a hand an inch from your face and your brain hallucinates the movement because your eyes are starving for data. Here on Earth, darkness is just an absence, a shadow, but out there's a place where darkness isn't a lack of light. It's a physical feature, a predator that eats it. Today we're looking 783 light years away toward the constellation Draco. We're going to a planet that feels less like a celestial body and more like a scar on the universe. We'll have to suspend our disbelief for a minute and pretend that we are invincible so that the physics of this place doesn't instantly vaporize us, and we survive this tour. You arrive in the system. The local star, Kepler-1, is a yellow dwarf looking a lot like our own sun, keeping company with a fainter star in the background. But parked right in front of it is a massive sphere that shouldn't look the way it does. It looks like a void torn straight through the fabric of space. This is TrES-2b, sometimes called Kepler-1b. Originally discovered in 2006 by the ground-based TrES survey, it became one of the very first planets studied in detail by the Kepler Space Telescope, which revealed just how unnaturally black this world really is. Here's the problem. TrES-2b is a gas giant. At this range from a star, a gas giant should be a massive cloudy mirror. Jupiter bounces back more than half the sunlight that hits it. A lump of charcoal reflects about 5%. TrES-2b, it reflects less than 1%. Its geometric albedo is so punishingly low that it swallows up more than 99% of the starlight. Trying to measure that reflection was a nightmare for astronomers. The dimming was 6.5 parts per million. It's like trying to spot a single grain of black sand drifting past a searchlight. It doesn't just sit in the dark, it devours it. Let's drop down into the atmosphere. There's no solid ground to crash into here, you just sink. Gravity drags you down fast. It's nearly 1.5 times the mass of Jupiter and 1.36 times wider, and the pressure crushes in immediately. Logic says sinking into a world that absorbs all light means descending into a cold, pitch-black nothing. But the universe has a cruel sense of irony. A world this hot can't stay completely dark. TrES-2b orbits a mere 3.3 million miles from its star. Mercury is 36 million miles from our sun, and that rock is a furnace. A full year on TrES-2b is over in less than 2.5 Earth days. Because it's hugging the fire that close, the dayside bakes at exceeding 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit or 980 degrees Celsius, with some regions pushing close to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,650 degrees Celsius. It's so hot that the planet is bloated, physically swelling outward. That kind of extreme heat triggers blackbody radiation. When something gets that hot, it has no choice but to glow. So as you sink deeper into the crushing pressure, the dark around you starts taking on a sickly dim red hue. Think of the dying embers of a fire, just before they turn to ash, or the dull red of heated iron. You are swimming through a glowing, toxic smog of vaporized sodium and potassium. And then there's the gaseous titanium oxide. On Earth, titanium oxide is in bright white paint and sunscreen because it reflects light beautifully. But bake it into a gas at these apocalyptic temperatures and its nature flips. It becomes a heavy, suffocating sponge for light. Even knowing the chemistry, the math doesn't fully add up for astrophysicists. Even with vaporized metals, the planet shouldn't be this unnaturally black. There is some exotic, unidentified chemistry churning deep in that haze, an ingredient we simply haven't discovered yet. Floating in that red smog, you're inside a massive, unsolved mystery. Let's push through the atmosphere toward the night side. Because of the tight orbit, TrES-2b is tidally locked. One hemisphere faces the star in an eternal, blistering day. The other is condemned to permanent night. When you hit the Terminator line, the razor-thin border between day and night, things get violent. The extreme temperature clash whips up winds tearing at over 4,300 miles per hour. That is fiercely supersonic. These winds forge a massive shockwave that rips across the planet, compressing the gas and dragging a superheated scar through the atmosphere. Those storms carry the heat from the dayside right into the endless dark. So when you finally cross into the night half, you aren't freezing. Thanks to the powerful winds redistributing heat, the night side is still a blistering 1,612 degrees Celsius, nearly 2,934 degrees Fahrenheit. Even the so-called dark side remains molten hot. All those vaporized metals that make the day side so suffocating, when they are dragged into the slightly cooler air of the night side, they condense. Which means in this pitch-black darkness, you were likely caught in the middle of a sideways hurricane raining liquid iron or molten rock. And because there is no light whatsoever, nothing to illuminate the clouds, nothing to bounce off the rain, you would never see the storm coming. you would just be swallowed by the deafening, physical roar of a supersonic metallic storm that literally never ends. It's a planet so black it makes Vanta Black look reflective, and its storms are invisible death traps of liquid iron. Yeah, time to leave. As you break back out into the vacuum of space, the roaring winds instantly snap into dead silence. You look back, and the planet just melts into the void, a ghost against the black. And remarkably, even in 2026, after years of follow-up observations, TrES-2b still holds the record as the darkest known exoplanet in the universe. We spend so much time looking up, trying to find the brightest stars, the brilliant galaxies, the massive supernovas, but sometimes the universe does its most fascinating work in the shadows, forging worlds that swallow light whole and refuse to let it go. If you survived this dive into the dark and enjoyed the trip, do me a favor by hitting the like button. And if you are new to CosmicGazeYT, do subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. It helps the channel out immensely. We've got a lot more of the universe's strange, shadowy mysteries to uncover together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.